Hi, ladies, and welcome to this workshop titled Interview Ready. It's being presented by Ellen Caldwell Ing. You guys are going to learn so much about being ready and looking presentable for your interviews, as well as how to dress for your future jobs. Ellen, thank you so much for taking the time to do this for us. If you could take just a few minutes and introduce yourself and tell the girls a little bit about what it is that you do.
Thanks for asking me to be here. I'm excited to be here. As Christina said, my name is Ellen Caldwell Ing, and I'm a personal stylist here in Houston, Texas. And I've been a personal stylist since 2004. And my background is basically in financial services. Have a degree in finance from a Houston university. But fashion has always been my passion. I've always loved clothes and I've always loved people. And so in 2004, at the encouragement of a couple of girlfriends, we were sitting around dreaming, what would you do if you could do anything? And I said, oh, so easy. I'd have my own boutique and I'd be a personal stylist. I think we called ourselves image consultants back then. So they said, well, you need to do that. And so, well, here I am. I guess that was like 16 years ago. So besides, well, let me just say this. What a personal stylist does, it's actually like a dream job. So I take people shopping, I play in their clothes, in their closet, I show them how to mix things up and help them get ready for special occasions. And just really pretty much, I've done fashion shows, so pretty much anything to do with fashion. I also rep a really great line of clothing called Cabi. And it's a direct sales clothing line that's sold home shows by personal appointment and now through virtual shows. So really excited about that. So really, my whole goal is to help women to love the way they look in the body that they have right now. For me, it's not about where you shop, but how you put it all together and figuring out who you are stylistically and letting that shine through. So that's just a little bit about me. I am an empty nester. I have a brand new grandson. So I've got two grandsons and two dogs. I have a dog named Coco Chanel and Louis Vuitton. So if you can own one, you can own a dog named one. That's a little bit about me. So
thank you so much for that. I'm going to go ahead and change the screen. You're going to notice the screen changing just a little bit as I turn it all over to Ellen to do her workshop. So here you go.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, do you want to go ahead and share your screen?
Yeah, there it is. Okay, it wasn't coming up.
That's okay.
Okay, there we go. Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before, let me go back. I don't know why I did start on this. Okay, so before I begin, I really want to talk about why image is important. Whether you're interviewing now or whether you're going to be interviewing after college, interviewing and being ready for your interview is so important. And you may think, well, my degree or my experience should stand for itself. But I want you to think of it this way. You're selling yourself. It's like, think of picking the cupcake in the glass counter. That's what's happening in a job interview. You're up against a lot of other people, and so the employer is picking the best cupcake, so to speak. So the main reason why image is so important is that it affects your self-image. So, you ever had one of those days where you have kind of a scratchy throat or a headache or whatever, but you have to go to school, you've got a test that day, you can't miss. And so you get up, you get dressed, you comb your hair, you maybe put on a little makeup or put on your cutest clothes, and you head off to school, and amazingly, you feel better. And that's because the way you present yourself affects us up here. So also, within the first 7 to 10 seconds of meeting someone, and this is so true, and important for a job interview, that within the first 7 to 10 seconds of meeting someone, they make judgments about us. They decide, are we credible? what kind of education we have. Are we approachable? Do they like us? What side of the tracks are we from? It's not always fair, but it's what we as humans do. And it's part of our way of protecting ourselves that we make judgments. And so, although it's not fair, we do have control over that through how we present ourselves with our wardrobe and our makeup and everything else, right? And also, your potential clients and vendors will also expect you to look a certain way. Meaning, if you get the job and you interface with clients or vendors, you are projecting the image of the company. And so those vendors and clients are expecting you to look a certain way as well. So also, being well dressed, being polished will give you an edge over that next candidate. And that's part of the things I want to talk about today is making yourself polished and appropriate, but also so that you stand out and are memorable. That is key. And there is a quote, I don't know if you remember Stacey London, but she was on a show a few years ago called What Not to Wear, which was a makeover show. And I heard a quote from her on TV one day, and she says, there's nothing shallow about feeling good, strong, and confident. And I just want to reiterate that going into a job interview, going into life in general, feeling good, strong, and confident is so key. So let's talk about just some interview wardrobe tips. So the first thing I want to say is dress for the job for which you're applying. Do a little research. Research the company. How do they dress? Are you going to be wearing a uniform? Because even if you're wearing a uniform, you still want to be polished for your interview. If you're interviewing for Starbucks, you still want to look professional. You still want to look polished. Also, research the industry. So know what people who work in that industry dress like, because you want to look the part. The interview is not the time to show your personal flair. It's really to show that you know how to operate in an interview setting as well as in the job. Okay, so that leads me to the next point, is choose classic cut pieces, conservative pieces in neutral colors. So what I mean by that, when I say classic, I mean pieces that are not overly trendy. A blazer, a pair of black trousers, a collared shirt, a shell, things that are classic. So if it will be on trend, if you could wear this piece 5 years from now, then chances are it is a classic cut piece. And I will say that I realize that as a teenager, you're probably not, interviewing for, accounting position or an attorney's position, but you could be interviewing for a place in those offices, and also a variety of other jobs. A blazer is such a must-have, even if you're wearing, contrasting pants or a skirt. A blazer just adds a extra bit of polish and power. If you want to look like you're in command of yourself and your knowledge, throwing on a blazer, even if it's blue jeans, throwing a blazer on will really add polish to your whole look. Okay, next is wear appropriate shoes with less than heels that are 3 inches high. So this brings me to one point that I see a lot and hear a lot from my business clients, that people come into work, women come into work, and they look like they have just left the club or the bar. So the office or work is not the place to wear your platform heel shoes or your prom shoes. That you want to wear classic conservative shoes. So appropriate shoes with heels less than 3 inches. So 3 inches is about the length of your finger. So it should be under that. Does it have to be flat? No. You can wear a little heel. Also, Choose tops and blouses in smaller prints and lighter colors. So, you know, to the job interview is not the place to wear a huge floral print blouse. Pick a smaller print, you know, a dot, a star, a little tiny stripe if you're going to do a print, or even solid colors. Also, hair should be clean and classic and well cut, you know, well kept. And then the next thing is accessorize. So one thing that I see a lot is that people think, oh, I am going on a job interview, I shouldn't wear any jewelry. No, you want to accessorize. You want to send a polished message. And then there's those that go overboard. So I wanted to give you a visual of what's appropriate and what's inappropriate to wear on a job interview. So when I say classic and conservative, so say you want something just like what I'm wearing, just up around the neck. So you could do something with a little gold with some pearls. That would be a statement, a short statement necklace. Okay, so that would be appropriate. You could also do just simple pearls. You could even do a little short pendant necklace. Okay, so those would all work. So what wouldn't work? Well, you know, a wooden statement necklace like that. Something like that. Big and bold and gaudy wouldn't work. Anything that clangs, makes lots of noise, has tons of sparkles. Like this is a pearl with like a, I don't know what kind of stone's in it, but you can see that it sparkles and clangs, and so that would not be appropriate. So keep it classic and keep it conservative. So let's talk about earrings, because a lot of times we don't wear a necklace, but we will wear earrings. So what is appropriate for earrings? So a hoop, you could do a hoop. And even this hoop has a little bit of shimmer, just enough to be classy. Also do something like that, that would work too. Do just a little gold stud. And then here's some dangles. I would say you want to keep your dangles to about 1 inch, like no more. So we've got like a little pearl, a little tiny one. So all those would work. What wouldn't work? That wouldn't work. Too big, too clangy. You'll see that? Too long and sparkly. So, but you do want to make sure that you have jewelry on, because you want to look finished. Think of jewelry as the sprinkles on an ice cream cone or a cupcake. It really makes it look inviting, and it really finishes off the whole look. So you don't want to skip jewelry, but you just don't want to go overboard. Okay, next is clothing should be clean, pressed, and should fit properly. And you might be thinking, well, Ellen, that's just a given, but it's something that must be said. If you're 5 feet tall, you're probably petite, and jacket sleeves and tops are probably long on you. So make sure that you get those things hemmed, and you know, that they aren't too big for you. Also, even if something says that it's wrinkle resistant or no iron, you still want to make sure that that garment is pressed and looks polished and looks, you know, interview ready. Okay, so next I wanted to talk about levels of business dress. I get this question a lot. So there's basically 4 levels of business dress, and I'm going to talk about 3 of them on this slide. So one is formal business dress. So this would be a dress with a jacket. So a classic dress, a sheath dress with a blazer would be business dress, or a skirted suit. These are the dressiest form of business dress. And then a pantsuit. So years ago, women only wore dresses and skirted suits in the business world. And then eventually pantsuits came along, and we never looked back. We love our pantsuits. But a matching blazer and matching pants, a matching blazer and matching skirt, that is a formal business dress. And then this is where there's a lot of confusion about what is semi-formal business dress. So that would be a skirt with a blazer, a skirt with a cardigan, a pair of slacks and a blazer. And these, probably for a lot of your jobs, this area, the semi-formal business dress might work just for you. If you're interviewing for, a clerk in a law firm or an accounting firm, you might want to dress more formal business dress, because that is how most of those offices dress on a daily basis. Then we go to business casual. So that would be slacks and a cardigan, or slacks and a blouse, something that's a little bit more casual. And as you can see, as we've become more casual in the office, we've added a little bit more style and trend. Notice that the girl on the right is wearing a scarf. And then we go to denim. We're going to talk about denim in just a second, because I feel like that's something that that's really important to know. But just know that, semi-formal business dress, skirt and a blazer, or slacks and a blazer, and you're good to go. Okay. Next is, I want to talk about building a workable business wardrobe. So as you are interviewing, or if you go to college and you get done with college and you're getting ready to go into the workforce and you need some suits, build your suits around neutral colors as your base, because you can take a black, a navy, pick two, and I'll explain why in just a second, 2 colors. And then you can add some tops. So this is great if you're going to be going on job interviews, and maybe there's more than one job interview and you need to mix and match some things. So there's black, which signifies control, authority, high rank, and dominance. Navy is tried and true. I mean, it is, everybody should own a navy interview suit. It's trust and loyalty and likability and expertise. It's just great for meetings and presentations. And then gray, that's considered the deal closer suit. A gray is confident, authority, control. And then brown is stable and secure and just personal warmth. So think about what you want to convey. You could do a navy suit and a tan suit, and that would work great, because then you can take the navy jacket and pair it with the tan trousers or the tan skirt, and vice versa. So that's how you can build a wardrobe and make it workable. I want to go here next. Okay, so we were talking about jeans and casual Friday. So most offices, or I should say some offices, offer the option to wear jeans on Friday. And this is something I hear from business owners, that they want me to come in and they want me to talk about the different levels of dress, because people get it wrong. They don't know what Jeans Friday really is. So this is on the bottom. You can see a variety of different jeans, and this is what I hear people are wearing to the office. And they think they're doing it right because they're wearing their jeans only on Friday. But this is not what they intend Jeans Friday to be. They really want you to wear dark wash, medium wash jeans that don't have any holes. They can be trouser jeans, they can be wide leg, they can be skinny, they can be straight leg, but they really want them to look dark and well kept. And so a darker jean is slightly more dressy than a faded, ripped up jean, even though we love our faded and ripped up jeans. So I just wanted to go over that. So if you get a job and they say, oh, we wear jeans here, or we got Jeans Friday, that's what that means. Okay, so I wanted to go back and talk about some of the office fashion faux pas. So you get the job, or maybe just things to wear on, things to avoid going on a job interview, things that I see. So the first one is getting clothes to fit properly. So one is blouses that gap open. So a lot of times, you know, when we're interviewing for jobs, we're looking for a collared button down. And for busty gals, button down blouses are a really hard fit. Don't kill yourself over it. Choose another option or select a top that has a little bit of stretch and give in it. But a lot of times getting them to not gap in the front is really difficult. So you can get some double-sided tape and you can tape right there if that's the problem. Or just go up a size. Um, Also, you can find button-down shirts that have a little bit of give, but that also have some shaping. Some little darts here. I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about. What is it? Darts right here that give the blouse some shape. So just make sure that you, when you're trying it on in the dressing room, that you are moving around, because you think about, like, if once you get the job, if you're filing or reaching or whatever, you don't want that to gape open. So check that first. Okay, next, I mentioned this a little earlier about sleeves being too long. I see this a lot, and I would say that if you're 5 feet or 5'4" and under, and you know that you have short arms, then I highly recommend that you shop in the petite department so that you can get sleeve lengths that are the right length. Also, if you're shopping in the juniors, look for 3/4 sleeves. Then you don't have to worry about sleeve length being too long. When I say 3/4, I'm talking about like right here. Okay, next is pants that are too long or too short. I think that goes without saying that you want to spend the money, take them to the tailor with the shoes that you're going to be wearing, and have your pants hemmed to the appropriate length. And I promise you, you are going to look like $1,000,000. It's worth every penny. It's more important than where you bought your pants. I remember when I was in high school, I think I bought a pair of pants at, I don't know, they were like $10. I don't remember where they were, Walmart or whatever. But I took them to the tailor to get them to fit perfectly in the waist. And they look like $1,000,000. No one ever knew. And so that's my point, is take the extra money and go and get them tailored to fit you perfectly. You will look like um, a polished professional. Okay, next is jackets that don't fit properly. See this a lot. Same thing. If you're petite, buy a petite jacket. Don't just roll them up. That's not polished. I mean, that's great for casual. I love to do that with my jackets and throw it on over my jeans. But for an interview situation, you want a jacket that's going to fit you perfectly. Okay, pants that are too tight or too baggy. I see tight more often than I see baggy. Just because pants have a little bit of stretch in them doesn't mean that they're leggings. Like, so some pants have a little bit of stretch. You still want them to fit like pants. So check the fit. Next is wrinkle clothing. I've seen this too. So just make sure that everything is steamed or pressed and looks really beautiful. Okay, also buying clothing and undergarments in the wrong size. So if you're not sure what size you are, then get your measurements, and you can usually at the stores ask, well, what size is, these are my measurements. Or, try on the next size up or the next size down, just to make sure that you are getting the right size. Okay, and then the last one, too many or not enough accessories. I've already mentioned that at the beginning. Okay, so this is one thing that offices see a lot. So I want to go over this because it's so important. And that is skimpy office attire. So you want to stay away from strappy tops, low cut tops, and you might think that something is not low cut, but when you go to bend over, people can see down your blouse. So before you leave the house, you want to try that out. You want to bend over and just see, like, oh, if I bend over like this, can everybody see down there? Because someone might be standing behind you, standing over you, and can have a full view down your top. And you don't want them looking here. You want them looking here. And you want them thinking about what's up here. So, keep, something that's a little bit more modest wherever you work. So also strappy sandals, flip-flops, those are a no-go in the office as well. Low-rise pants or crop tops. If you have crop tops, not ever appropriate. And short skirts. So truly on skirts, you want your skirts to be probably no more than, say, 3 inches above your knee. So if it's even questionable, ask someone that you trust, is this too skimpy for an office? Okay. Next, I wanted to talk about video job interviews, because the wave of the future, or actually it's here now, is video job interviews, especially now with what we're all dealing with the coronavirus. Many job interviews are going to be through a video, Zoom or FaceTime or something like that. And so I think it's important that we talk about that and what that means for you. So how do you dress? Well, dress as if you are interviewing in person. You want to give the same amount of effort on a video interview as you would for an in-person interview. Often what happens is your first interview is a video interview just to see if they like you, and then they'll call you in and interview you in person. Okay, so dress just like you would if you were going. A blazer would be great, and yes, wear pants. What if you have to stand up? Wear pants. So dress just like you would if you were going to an in-person interview. Next is choose a professional background. Okay, I know you all have seen some really funny things on Facebook or wherever about things that have happened with Zoom meetings. They've been pretty funny. But the point of it is, I mean, you've seen dogs, in the background doing funny things, and people naked and in their underwear. I mean, it's as hilarious as it is, it really does happen. So choose a professional background and make sure that there's no one behind you. You know, to go into an office, don't do the interview from your bed. Maybe go into the dining room or the kitchen where you can sit at the table. But have a professional background and make sure that everyone knows, hey, I'm going to be on an interview. You need to stay out. Maybe where you can shut a door. Which leads me to the next one, is choosing a quiet location. So if you've got dogs, maybe put them in their kennel or in the laundry room while you're doing your interview. Also, test the video and the audio before your interview. The last thing you want to happen is to get on your interview and have all kinds of audio and video problems. You want to have all that figured out. So if it's the day before or 15 minutes before, I would recommend at least an hour before, just to run through and just check, okay. Because what happens if you do this 15 minutes before and you have a problem is you start hyperventilating, you're nervous, like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time to figure this out. You want to get on that interview and be so calm and to be so present with that person on the other side. Also, this kind of goes hand in hand, is make sure you have a strong internet connection. If you have one of those houses where in certain rooms you've got dead spots, make sure that you have tested that internet connection and you're good to go. Also, raise your computer or your webcam to eye level. So I just want to show you this really quick because it really does make a difference. Okay, so I've got my computer, the cam is right at my eye level. I've got it raised up about, I've got a little stand, but it's raised up about 4 inches, and then I've got some books on it to make it even taller because I'm tall. So I want you to see, I'm not going to change the angle of my laptop screen. I'm just going to bring it down and let you see how it's not as good of an angle. And if I do it like this, then you're kind of looking at my chin. So it's so important to figure out how to stack your computer or lift your computer up so that the viewer has the best angle of you, because you want them to see the best version of you. And then lastly, send a thank you note. Let them know that this was a real interview for you and you appreciate them taking the time to um, to meet with you. So that is everything that I have today. I'm going to turn it back to Christina. And then Christina, if you have some questions or anything you want me to elaborate more on, I'm happy to do that. So let me just stop.
Great. I was gonna say this was a really great interview, not interview, but workshop. There were lots of really good pieces of advice, especially there at the end with the I like the video shot of like, because I just think like you've seen so many times when you're talking to somebody via FaceTime or whatever, and they've got it down low, and so like for me, it's always kind of like I'm looking right up their nose. Kind of thing. You don't want somebody looking up your nose while you're doing an interview, and then the follow up with the thank you note always. But definitely with the earrings and everything, that's really key. I do have a
Always.
question about jewelry. Sorry, with accessories.
I'm sorry, what?
I have a question about accessories.
Uh-huh.
So, what about bracelets?
That's a really good one. And I am not wearing, Christina knows this about me. I usually have an arm full of bracelets on, and I don't. And the reason is because I didn't want to jingle and jangle while this Zoom meeting was going on. So the thing is I like, if you want to wear one bracelet, that's great. That's fine. But you don't want to wear an armful of bracelets or bracelets that have, tons of charms that are going to jingle jangle while you're meeting. You don't want anything to distract from them looking at you and remembering you in a positive way. And that's the point I want to hit home, is remembering you in a positive way, not remembering, oh yeah, it was the lady with the girl with the jingly wrist. Like, that's not what you want them to remember. So that's a good question.
Exactly. This was great. Ladies, if you have questions for Ellen, all you got to do is below this video, there's the comment section. So go ahead and pop any questions or comments that you have in there. And she will be sure to pop back in and answer those questions for you. Thank you so much, Ellen. You have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you later, ladies.
Thank you all, and hope this was helpful for you. And if I can be of service, please reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.